Hi, good morning. Welcome to this new video where we are going to study how to work with powers of fractions, powers with fractions. Okay, in this video, the first thing we have to learn is how to calculate the power of a fraction. Okay, how to calculate the power of a fraction. You know, for example, that this is a fraction, okay, and this is the third power of a fraction, two-thirds cube. And when you do the third power of a fraction, the third power of any number, you have to multiply 3 times by the same, using the same base. Okay, two-third times two-third times two-third. If we do that, we get that this is 2. 2 times 2 times 2 equals 2 cubed, and 3 times 3 times 3 equals 3 cubed, because you know that when you multiply fractions, you multiply the numerators and then you multiply the denominators. And this is what we get. Okay? What do we get here if we do the same with this number? Okay? If you do the same with this number, we have to multiply the base, which is 1/2, -1/2, 3 times. So we multiply -1/2 times -1/2 times -1/2 times -1/2 times -1/2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times, right? And now we have to multiply first the signs, okay? Here we didn't do anything with the sign because all signs are positive, but here we have negative signs. You have to multiply the signs. Negative times negative, positive. Positive times negative, negative. Negative times positive times negative, positive. Times negative, negative times negative, positive. Then the final sign is going to be positive. Next, we multiply the numerators. So, of course, it is 1 times 1 times 1 times 1, 6 times, it is 1. And now, we multiply the denominators. We have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times, of course, it is 2 to the power of 6. Right? And what about this one? Here we have the same, okay? We have to do 1/3, -1/3 times -1/3 times -1/3. And now we have to calculate the product of these three numbers, because it is negative times negative, positive times negative, negative. The result is going to be negative. And now when you multiply, you get 1, because 1 times 1 times 1, and 3 cubed. Right. Conclusion. What do you have to learn here? We have to learn that the power of a fraction, as here, here, and there, is the power of the numerator and the power of the denominator. So now you don't have to do all these things, okay? The only thing you have to do when you have a power of a number, for example, 2/7 to the power of 4, you know that this is 2 to the power of 4 divided by 7 to the power of 4 directly. Okay, you don't need to do all these things now. Okay, you don't need to do the product. Okay, you know that is the power of the numerator divided by the power of the denominator, and it is done. And what happens with the sign when the exponent is even? When the exponent is even, like in this case, if the sign is negative, the result is positive. Okay, and even when the sign is negative, but the exponent is uneven, okay, you get that the result is going to be negative. This is the same rule that we do with the integer numbers. And now, let's see more properties. For example, 5 over 6 over 13 to the power of 0. What happens when you have a number to the power of 0? You know, the rule is that is equal to 1, and the same happens with fractions. And what happens when you want to calculate the fraction to the power of 1? The result is the same fraction. And what happens with square roots? What is the square root of a fraction? The square root of a fraction. The square root of a fraction happens the same that happens here in the power of a fraction. Is the power of the numerator and the power of the denominator. Here you have that is the square root of the numerator divided by the square root of the denominator. So it is 4 over 5. What about this? The square root of 1, which is 1, the square root of 64, which is 8. Okay? And with this, I have finished explaining the basic about powers of fractions. But this is the first video of 2, so I invite you to see the second video where we are going to learn more properties of powers on fractions. See you then.